Hi guys, in today's video, pag-uusapan natin kung ano ba yung pang-araw-araw kong dinadala na tools, equipment, or technology when I'm going to work. So basically, this is an everyday carry utility bag, or we could simply call it EDC. I'm using a hard case for what I'm carrying every day, and it's made by gearsafe.com.au. So yeah, I've been using it for like 6 years now. Everything's still okay. Okay pa yung mga gulong niya and everything. Just a disclaimer, hindi ko mo dinadala ko siya every day is I use every single item in this particular EDC. I'm just doing this because I want to be efficient when I'm working on site. Sometimes you don't know what you're gonna be dealing with when you're on site. Sometimes yung problema na ine-expect mo hindi pala yun. So if I'm carrying the tools that I need for that particular job, or if I'm carrying the tools doon sa kahit hindi ko alam yung problema, so I already have it in my EDC. Just so you know, EDC or whatever tools you're carrying for your work, that doesn't mean it works for everyone. Obviously it depends on what you're doing, what kind of job you're actually required to do. In my case, I work as an IT systems and network. So the tools that I have is what works for me. So like I said, because I have these tools, that doesn't mean you'll be able to do your job because you follow what I have in my EDC. That's not how it works. But what I was trying to say is, and the reason why I am sharing what I have in this tool bag or in this EDC is maybe it will going to work for you. Maybe you have the same job as mine. My job involves fixing server switches. I do install switches and servers as well, wireless access points, IP streamers. IP streamers is when you have aerial, the antenna, the digital television signal coming from the antenna down to, using a coaxial cable, down to the head end or to the server room. So we have an IP streamer there that converts those signals, the digital signal, into IP. I still have to work sometimes with coaxial cable. I need to work with Cat5, Cat6 cable. I don't run cable. I don't necessarily run coaxial cable or Ethernet cable. I do, however, patch cable from one end of the rack or to the other part of the cabinet in the same room. Sometimes it requires me to find an existing cable that I could use to patch, say for example, the head end or the digital IPTV head end is completely different where the location of our server. So that means I have to find the cable that's running that I can patch through to that side. So without further ado, I'm gonna start with what I have in my pocket. Obviously, I have my work car keys, some of the server keys that I'm using. I do have a 64 gigabyte USB-A that I can also use a USB-C on the end. My eyes is getting bad, unlike before when I was younger. So I have my glasses, prescription glasses, obviously my phone. So let's start opening this bag and I'll show you exactly what I have in here. Let's put it aside. Okay, so the first thing that you're gonna see in my bag or in my hard case is my laptop, and it's obviously on another protective case. What I have here is I have a patch cable or patch cord. It's a Cat6 cable, and I do have the RJ45 Ethernet adapter. The reason why I need to carry this is the laptop that I have doesn't have an onboard RJ45 connection, so I need to carry this one. I also have a console cable. I used to carry a different console cable where you're using an RJ45 on one end and then RS232 on the other end, and then there is an adapter called RS232 to USB-C adapter. So with that one, it's bulky. I need a driver to work on that as well. Whereas the new one that I have, it came from one of the switches that I installed a while back. It's from Fortinet, and it comes with this USB-C to RJ45 console connection already. So it is perfect, and it works with Cisco. Well, we're only using Cisco switches in our in our line of work, but I haven't tried it with other managed switches. But with Cisco switches, it does work. There you go. That's what's on my laptop bag on one side, and obviously the laptop itself. I'm using a Microsoft Surface laptop, so it's light, it's thin, and that's why I like about it. It's powerful. I think it's 10th gen. I have it for about 3 years now, and I'm actually enjoying using it. It's just, it's very simple and light. So that's one of them. So the next thing I'm gonna show you is this is every time that I'm going to install a switch or a server or a UPS wireless access point. This is the most used tools in my EDC. So basically, I can replace the head of that. It's rechargeable. There is a forward and reverse functionality, and it will tell you as well if the battery is getting low, and there's a light on that side. So it's kind of handy. My very useful tools I use almost every time that I have to do install or troubleshooting. There we go. So I have a packet Ethernet. This basically connect to the switch or to any wall ports. It does a lot of things like wire mapping. With the dongle on one end, I can run or I can test the cable, the continuity of the cable, the wire mapping, and then on the other end I have to connect it from here. This one connects to my phone via Bluetooth, so it does it can detect PoE voltage. It can do TDR, so if there is a break on the cable, it will tell me exactly where the breaks are. It does CDP and LLDP information. So if I plug it into the wall ports, and if I want to know if the wall ports is active, pwede kong malaman doon kaagad kung anong switch ako nakakabit, kung anong port number ako nakakabit, what VLAN the switch port carries. Like I said, if there's a PoE, it will tell me what type of link. Is it 10 or 100 or 1 gigabit connection? Is it full duplex, half duplex? It can do ping. It will ping the network. It can ping to the outside world like google.com. What else? There's so many things that it can do. There's also a capability to do toning. So you plug it into the cable, you're trying to trace it. Say if the cable is inactive, it's not connected to the network, then how exactly you're gonna find the cable, right? So we need to use the tone capability on this one. It can do a port blinking. So you set, if on the other end it's connected to the network, it just doesn't know, or the switch itself doesn't carry CDP or LLDP, then you can use a port blinking. So what it does is it will blink the LED on the switch itself, and you can easily find the cable that you're trying to troubleshoot or you're trying to find out. That's what I use it for. I use it almost every single day. So the next one is, I do have a tone mapper on my bag. This one, I do have this for a very long time already. If I can remember, when I was still working in the telecommunication industry, I have it. That was very long time ago. So it's over 30 years. You will be able to guess how old I am. I guess. So yeah, it comes with the tone tracer itself and the probe. So like I said, with the packet Ethernet, which can generate tone, I can also use this. This is an analog, by the way, analog tone tracer. It can, whatever the signal came from this, we're gonna be able to find by the probe. I'm probably gonna do some more in-depth information about this on another video. Just let me know in the comment if you would like to know more about this and maybe a practical use case of this pocket Ethernet. That's the name of the brand. So like I said, it can do continuity testing. You just put it on the connection and it will going to light up. So you can see, I don't know if you can see it on your screen. There is a LED. If there's a continuity, you're gonna see a green light. If you plug it into the network or an active line, then it will going to show you green if the polarity is correct. I think that's more for like a PTSN, or is that PTSN? I can't remember. Anyway, so that's what it do. If it's red light, that means it's a reverse polarity, and then another toggle switch. So that sound that you can hear can change. I do have a labeler. So it's just a normal labeler. It's not one of the expensive one that you can, like Brady. I do have a scissor, because for some reason every time that I have to create a label, there's always a big, like almost an inch of extra tape coming out, so I have to cut it. So that's it for that one. I do have, as you probably know by now, I love a lot of small pouches, especially the Molly small pouch where you can actually put it in a bag or something. I just love them. They're cheap one. I think I bought it from Amazon. So what I have on this one is my newly acquired clean tools. So what it does is a pass-through RJ45 and telephone crimper. So basically it can cut the cable, it can do strip the insulation, and obviously you also have some kind of pardon me, my eyes is not really good, T568A and B. In Australia we're using T568A. I believe in America they're using B. Ever since I bought this one, I've only used it twice, and the reason why I bought this one is because, like I said, my eyes is not getting any better now. Like I'm getting old, and sometimes the color I can't see it properly, or if I'm seeing at the behind the plastic on the RJ45, I can't see the color anymore. So it's actually very helpful for me. Contrary to some other people that works in low voltage or in IT, they say it's not good, but in my opinion it works for me. I've been using the normal crimper, RJ45 crimper, for a very long time, and I don't have a problem doing that. But yeah, this just for a change. So I also have some cutter, the same thing. I can cut RJ45 on this one, so I'll have a proper cut on all the pairs, and also obviously you have the cut 5 and cut 6 type of cable that I can create a cut, and then I can just easily pull the insulation. It will just gonna work fine. I do have this is more of like the RG6 RG58 type of coaxial cable where you can strip it, and that basically I don't need it, but I have it. I just keep it in my bag. It does have its own stripper and crimper, so stripper and cutter. So I just leave it there. This one, however, I need this every time that I need to crimp or compress. I use a compression. This is a compression for the F-type coaxial cable. So yeah, every time that I need to cut or compress a cable or crimp, I need to use this one. And it's just a basic Digitech. I believe it's an Australian brand as well. So that's what's in this bag actually. Let's put it back quickly, and then we move on to the next one. Right, So the next one in my EDC is I do have a a spare brother labeler tape. I do have double-sided tape, Velcro, electrical tape. You don't know when I'm gonna need. Actually, I think I've only used it 1 or 2 times since I started in this company 6 years ago, and never actually used it. The Velcro, however, is very handy. Sometimes I have zip ties. I don't normally use this on cable or on patch cable. I do use this most of the time. Sometimes I have a HDMI cable that I have to run to the IP streamer, and there's a lot of them. This is a good way to label the cable itself. I just normally put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know that. So from the left hand side of the bank, I know that it's 1 to 6. So I just label the cable, and that's it. And it's silver color, so it's pretty much, when you look at it, you can easily see the this color from the black cable. I do have also some sort of I do like to use the brother labeler, but sometimes temporarily that becomes permanent. Sometimes I use this. So it's a cable zip tie, but at the same time you can write down, you know, any information about this. So who this belongs to, or which switch port it is connected to on the other end, stuff like that. So it's very handy, this one. So now, tools. I do have a puncher. It's a Krone one, made by Krone. What I like about this one is it's just a little bit tricky at the moment. I think I have to put some like an oil in this one so I can freely loosen up the this extra bit. So as you can see, sometimes when you crimp it and you made it like a wrong crimp in there, you can easily fish it out and hook it up and fish it out, and you can recrimp it again. So that's why I like this one. But I do, however, I feel like it's more ergonomic than this one, so I carry both. So this one can do the same thing. It's just a little bit hard to remove, but you can actually remove this, put it on the other side, and it becomes 66. So that's actually more for the phone system. So what else do I have in here? These are all my personal tools, and yeah, I just never actually use it, or sometimes I use it when I have to just bend a little bit of the cage nut, stuff like that, or just to hold the nut on one end and use my trusty cordless drill. So yeah, and also I have long nose. I don't necessarily using this, or I don't think I've used it even once, but it's just good to have that. I have it in there in my toolbox. This one is just a normal, so you can just a normal screwdriver where you can put in a different type of heads, a Phillips flat, or some security bits in there. So this one, this is designed specifically for the coaxial cable, the F type. So sometimes it's normally you just want to twist it with your hands and that's it. But sometimes, especially if it's an environment that there's a lot of movement on the cable and everything, I do a little bit of tightening it up with this one. So this one is very useful as well. So I have this for a very long time. This is a tiny side cutter, and the story on this one is I didn't bought it. This was given to me by my auntie. She have it. I think she found it in from her previous work at Telstra, and she gave it to me. So and until now I'm still using it. So it's very cute, very handy. Right. I have another pouch in here, and what I have in here is this is my crimper for the RJ45. This is not the pass-through. The other one that I showed you earlier was the pass-through. This is just the normal RJ45 crimper, and it comes with the 6P or 4P crimper. And obviously the same, you have the cutter and the like so you can twist it and bite the insulation, and then you just snip, put it in an angle, and then you can snip the cable, or you can remove the cable from there. So that's what in here. I do have a small or short measuring tape. This is only 5 meters, and I use this for measuring the size of the room, especially when I'm doing site survey. I have another scissor in here, just a small one, like I think it's a surgical scissor or something. This one is very handy when I'm running when I'm troubleshooting something, like there's no power on my server, and I was like, what's going on? Why there's no power? And other device doesn't have power too, just to make sure that the cable itself, or the power cable, doesn't really have power. Put it on the end bit and do my testing. So instead of bringing a multimeter, sometimes I just put it in. That sound, you can see some lights in there as well. So basically, that's to test if the battery still works. So by pressing this, before you actually put it into the live wire of the power supply cable, you just put IEC cable. You put it in, and it will go. If there is a power present on that cable, then it will going to make that sound. But yeah, I do always press that one before I actually put it on the live cable. So I have this for the same for that long time as well, for like 30 years from my previous company, which I bought this for $1 when I was at Bunnings. I don't know, I just thought I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna buy some stuff, and then when I see this, it was on sale for $1, and it has everything, like the everyday things that I'm gonna use in my troubleshooting. It doesn't have a security bit, but oh yeah, actually there's some like a star or hexagonal type of head in there. But other than that, it's just nice to have. And that's all the tools that I'm carrying every day, and not that I'm using it every day. So it's basically either the pocket Ethernet, the laptop, toad tracer, and that's pretty much I'm using every day. Moving on to the next one. This is just bits and pieces on my two bags. I have a power supply for my laptop. This is a 100 watts power delivery power supply, so I love this. So I do have some extra cable for my mobile phone. I do have a PoE adapter. So sometimes I have to configure an access point, and the access points or the switch where I'm working on doesn't have a PoE, so I'm using this one. So it's very handy on that particular one, and obviously I use a red PATS cable as well, just because, so I know that it's the one that's supposedly for the PoE. Just the normal butterfly connection for that one. This one is handy. Sometimes I use it if I have a multiple device that I need to run at the same time. So my phone needs to be charged. I have to use PoE. I'm running out of battery on my laptop. Then it's good to have one of these. So that's the reason why I have this. I don't use it all the time because I can actually charge my laptop from my car, so don't have the use for it. But like I said, it's better to have that than you don't, and then you're gonna need it. So it's more of like a little bit of efficiency. Then I got a little bits of knickknacks in here. So this one is basically like the F connector for the RG6. This is the compressed one, the one that I showed you earlier. I do have an RJ45 which is not pass-through. I have some RJ45 that is pass-through. I do have some power supply adapter. I do carry some of this socket. Ooh, take it off. There you go. This one. So sometimes the wall plugs is faulty and I have to replace it. Instead of waiting for the right maintenance guy to swap them around, I'd rather do it myself instead of waiting them, because most of the time the the network doesn't belong to us. When I said the network doesn't belong to us, the cabling, like I said, sometimes it's just easier for me to just carry that one. And I have this one as well. Don't know why, but I have it. I have some cage nuts, different type of cage nut. I've got a black one or the metal one, and obviously the same for my screws, same thing. So that's pretty much it for that one. Last but not the least, bits and pieces of things. So sometimes I like to put an access points on the wall socket. You know, we need to do that. So I want to make sure that it's level. So I use this one. So I've got a small lights in here. This one is the reason I like this one is because there is a magnet. So let's say if I'm on the network cabinet and I'm doing some stuff on the cabinet itself, and I can just easily put it underneath or put it on the side of the cabinet, and because it's made of metal, it's just going to magnet itself and turn it on, and then I'll be able to work without, you know, holding a torch or using the phones. Another USB lights that I have. I don't know. I like lights. I've got a lot of lights, but moving on to the next one. What's in here? I've got bunch of USB stick or memory sticks. It's not what you think it is. It's not about using it for different type of operating system. I'm gonna create another video for that, which you can have multiple installer of Linux, for example, Linux Mint or Ubuntu or Debian, OpenSUSE, Windows 11, Windows 10. I do have that on a single USB stick, but this one have a particular use for me sometimes when I have to configure a television, for example, in a hotel environment where I have to create a clone. So you set up one television, put all the information, the necessary details, the right configuration, and then once you have that, I'm going to create a clone of that one. Like for example, this one, it says V9 clone. This is for Android. And so the next television that I come across, all I need to do is plug it in and copy the information from the USB to the other TV that I'm setting up. So that's what's in there. I have a extra multiple things, like this is a Chromecast. I do have this is a pluggable, another Ethernet cable. It can be USB-A, and then also you can use it as a USB-C. The reason why I have this is sometimes I have to test a network that is higher, like I need to test the speed of the network. So I have to buy a higher one. This is at 2.5 gigabits per second. The one that I previously have, the one that I normally use to my day-to-day work is the 1 gigabit connection. So I have that one. I do also have a card reader. So it can do a lot. It can do micro SD, it can do CF card, micro SD, and like I said, the normal SD card. So that's are the stuff that I need to use from time to time. There were gonna be times that I need to document what I'm seeing on the screen and create a tutorial. So I need to screenshot from a device. Let's say, for example, I would like to see, or I need to create a tutorial on how to set up or to configure a Chromecast device. So I need to capture that information. So I have this is just a cheap HDMI video capture. So I use that one for that thing. I also have this one because I would like to know sometimes how much wattage or how much amperage a certain device are being pulled out from the USB ports, and if that USB can support that. Or let's say, sometimes you plug in a device and it can detect the connection, it can browse whatever you put in there, but it does sometimes when you put in something else, like let's say for example you use this one and you use the television's USB to power this as well, and sometimes you get surprised that it's not working. That's because the USB doesn't provide enough power, or it doesn't give power at all. So very handy to have that one. I do have one more stuff, which is an Everr media. It's a digital tuner. So basically, you plug it into your laptop, and then on the other end, you connect it to the aerial from the antenna, and you can open like VLC, and you can actually view the live television. I do have another torch or LED flashlight. This one is more for your head. So when when you're moving around and you really, like when you need to really move around and grab some stuff, and the place is dark, it's good to have this on your head. So wherever you look at, it's there already. So yeah, it's very handy to have that one. I bought this one. This is basically more for my personal use case. Sometimes I do troubleshoot a desktop computer. We also have a customized server, like the 4RU type. It's using a normal power supply, so sometimes it's handy to use this to test the functionality of all the cable that's coming out from that power supply, to make sure that it's still providing enough power, or it's actually providing power to your motherboard and to your peripherals. So it's handy. I think I've only used it a couple of times, but it's good to have one. I do carry a mouse for my laptop, because sometimes I have to work longer hour to document for documentations and tutorial and stuff like that. So it's nice to have one of these. I do also have a cheap D-Link 5-port switch. This is unmanaged. I do have a lot of Netgear unmanaged GS105, I think the model number is. A lot of 5 ports unmanaged switch in my car. It saves me a lot of time. Like I said, efficiency. So instead of me going back to the car and grab one of these, I already have it in my bag. So obviously some of the flat Cat6 PATS cord or PATS cable, I do have that as well. Right, and lastly, on my EDC, I have a normal Lenovo Android tablet, which I use to, like if I would like to see the Wi-Fi, the access points. So basically, I use this to do some heat mapping, just a normal basic heat mapping, or if I want to see what's the access points, what type of access points do they have on the premises, how many access points, which channel is busy, which channel is less populated, and so on and so forth. Sometimes this is very handy as well, where I could just point it into one of the access points that I'm troubleshooting, and by doing that I can actually concentrate on that access points and just walk around, and it will tell me if I'm getting closer. Let's say if I can't find the access point, sometimes they will ask me to find the MAC address of the access points. Unfortunately, my iPhone cannot do that. That's why I'm carrying this one. And sometimes it's easy to configure a Google Chromecast with Google Home using this Android tablet. So that's all the equipment that I have, or the tools, the technology that I have on my EDC. I do, however, carry this backpack. This is a 511 RAS 12 backpack. And this one, the reason why I love this one is they have so many pockets in there everywhere. So I can actually just, like if I know the job that I'm going to do on that particular day, I have the more information, the more details of what I'm supposed to be troubleshooting, or the job that I'm gonna be doing. I just go to the hard case and grab only the necessary tool or the necessary equipment. If I'm unsure, or the information, the ticket is a little bit vague, then I bring the whole lot. So guys, hopefully you get something from that video that I just did today. And if you need to do some more digging on some of the equipment that I have, like I said, the Pocket Ethernet, for example, or the Progressive Electronics tone tracer that I have, let me know, and I'll do in-depth information on that particular tools that I have. I hope you enjoyed that video, and thank you for staying back to the end of this video, and I hope you like it. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.